morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Today we have a big day of preservation. I'm out in the garden because I heard the birds fighting over something. I think they found some sort of bug. What's going on, girls?
Me.
Oh, and we have a child out here too. Looking extra poofy today. I just am letting my hair air dry in this heat. Again, it's 99, so I am out here harvesting zucchini and pepper. I don't think any of our onions are really going to go to its full potential, so I'm going to grab a few of those and we're going to make some zucchini relish. I will show you where I got the recipe. I'm excited. It is from the Grange cookbook, of course, the Pennsylvania State Grange cookbook. I get questions a lot about where I got it, and I got it passed down from family members, but if you're lucky, you could probably find it at a thrift store in Pennsylvania if you're there, or you can find it on eBay. One time I found it on Amazon, but I believe the seller is no longer selling. They also sold Middlesworth barbecue chips. If you're a person from Pennsylvania, from that area that likes Middlesworth chips and can't find them, I found them on Amazon from that seller. So you just have to get lucky. I have my basket here, again, going to collect all of those things, and I'm going to take you along. So really the only thing on the menu, my plan is to do the zucchini relish. You have to let it go overnight, then you can water bath it. There's different ways to do it, but I'm going to take you along for that. I have some broccoli that I am preserving, and it's just going to be a day of preserving and yummy food and chit chat. So I hope you all are doing well. Thank you so much for the support on the last video. So very kind of all of you to comment, and let's get right into today. So I have been grabbing tomatoes when they start to yellow like this and just putting them on my windowsill. They will not grow bigger than this. This is the variety that we have. They're patio tomatoes over here. So I'm gonna grab 3 of those. And did I say drying on my windowsill? I totally meant, what am I saying? Ripening on the windowsill. But these are the onions that I'm talking about. They've just been like really dying off. I'm gonna pull 1 or 2 and see what happens. The larger ones, I'm just gonna leave go to see, but I have just been like witnessing small to little growth. So let's see what happens if I pull this. Oh yeah, so there's just like nothing happening. I do have some red onions over there that are doing better. Like, this has been growing for maybe 3 months, and this is what we have. So I think I'm gonna use these. I think we have enough time to do something, so I'm gonna use the grow bags for something else. I'm not sure what yet, but we're gonna give it a go, see what happens. We're gonna try and beat that frost date, but I know some of you are like cringing right now, but I've really given them as much time as I can, you know, and it's a waste of water at this point. But excited. We have some butternut squash coming through. We have a bunch on this plant. We have 11 total. It goes all the way over there too. The beets will be ready soon. Our carrots that I planted too closely together, they're coming along. And then these are the other ones that I recently planted, doing much better in this soil. So curious about that, but I do have a bell pepper here. I don't think it's gonna get any bigger, to be honest with you. My peppers never do well out here. That's just like, I feel like that's a Colorado thing. I hear it from everybody that their bell peppers just don't do that well. And then this guy's ready to go. Probably could have given it a day. That's fine. No time. Zucchini relish to be made. Did I say zucchini salsa last time? We like to get creative with our zucchini since we get so much of it. We have 1 more bell right here. Oh, cool. We have some tomatoes. Yep, buddy, you can get one. Have some tomatoes happening as well. Can you put those in the basket, buddy?
All day.
And you know what I just thought about? We have beans that could really get into some jars instead of us freezing it. So I think we're gonna do that today as well. And I think that's it, right, bud?
What do we have?
I don't know what she has. She's being such a goof. But we do have some squash coming through. 1 second, bud. We do have some yellow squash coming through. Them growing vertical like this really straightens them out, I think, in my opinion. But I started putting some alyssum in front of these squash plants, and we haven't had any squash bugs. I'm not saying that's the reason, but I don't know, give it a shot. I thought marigolds would be awesome, but this alyssum has been really helpful. And then, sorry if you don't support it, but I have some of my autoflower coming through, and I'm really starting to smell it. So this is going to be moved away to another area. These will get much bigger, so yay. Can't wait to make some oil because my migraines have been outrageous lately. So here are the pole beans happening. We could probably grab a few here, but not too many. We are doing awesome with this area. Winter squash coming through. Cucumbers just like literally wilting because the heat is ridiculous right now. We have some cabbage forming. I might actually wrap that up. Some kale, curly kale, dinosaur kale. We have spinach in the center, and then pea shoots coming through here, sweet peas, as well as some more bush beans, and then pineapple sage in the back that we can grab. So I'm excited. What? Okay. This is our setup right now. We just have a sheet over top of it for hawks, and I keep an eye on it all day. So the birds have just been loving this little setup until we get it to go all the way to over here. So I'm excited. There's a little update. I'm going to bring you inside, have a little chit chat, talk to you about some zucchini relish. Okay, we're back inside. I have some salsa from the other day if you were here that I chopped up. So I have 5 jars here, and then I have smaller jars that I like to mix with rice. So we eat that quite a bit. And then we have 28 over there cooling. So I'm pretty excited. I think we got a lot. Only one of them didn't seal. So yay for us. Let me bring you over here. We actually need more jars, so this is good that this is an overnight situation. I'm taking the zucchini squash relish recipe in here, and I'm sorry if you can hear hocus pocus, of course, but I'm going to take this and chop everything up, and I will show you my steps, but if you want, just go ahead and screenshot that recipe. Okay, here is what we have working with. This is for the chickens. The seeds are actually a natural dewormer for them, so they really enjoy those, as well as the ducks. And then the shredded zucchini is right there, and a jelly sandwich half eaten. Wyatt and I are gonna go feed the chicks, then we'll come back in and chop the rest of the ingredients. We are trying to stay silent because Delilah is sleeping, but are you ready? Okay. Wilder has an axe that he wants to show the chicks, so hopefully we don't get a little afraid of them. But
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Let's go.
Okay, let's see if they like it.
See, they
Ouch.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, look. Look.
Oh, yes. A little zinnia poking through. Okay, so we'll probably just give them a little bit here. Not too much, but they really enjoy it. Hey, gals. Hey, girls. Okay. I'll throw it in. How about? Here we go. You like it? The ducks are hilarious with them. The way they eat things. Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday's eating some broccoli. Okay. Watch out, girls. I don't want to hit you. Sorry.
What you did to me, Dom?
Well, I don't want to hit him. Hey friends, we are off. It's actually the next day. We ran out of jars, and then we had a few things going on in the garden with the chickens, so we lost track of time. But the zucchini went ahead and went all night with that salt on it to release the water, and now I have it in the crock pot going, and then we will put it in the jars. I'm actually picking them up from my local market. I called her and asked if she had any ripe flats of tomatoes, which she sells for like $1 or $2. So it's essentially like 20 pounds of tomatoes that are ripe, and today's the last day to, use them up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some tomato sauce too for $2. I usually get, I'd say maybe 10 to 12 pints out of that, but I add different things, carrots and all that. So I'm picking that up, and then I'm just with Delilah right now because my husband went ahead and took Y to Lowe's to get some lumber to make a different structure for the chickens. I just don't feel that my structure is going to work out with the roof, so that's what we're doing today. We're going to take you along with us, and I think I'm going to grab some cabbage as well and go ahead and do my sauerkraut. So I'll be doing sauerkraut, tomato sauce for like spaghettis and pastas and things like that, and then I will be doing the rest of the zucchini relish. So you kind of get 3 recipes here. I got questions over the night about times, why I process longer. My elevation's probably different from yours unless you're from the same spot of Colorado than I am. I do that for 2 reasons, because of elevation and just to be safe. You never know. With water bath canning, I might get a little feedback from this one, but with water bath canning, you can basically do a lot with it. I've seen people water bath can meats, mainly the Amish that water bath can in these huge like iron tubs, and that's what I grew up around, Amish and Mennonites. So I've watched them can meat. I've watched them can, pastas with sauce in them, and they keep it in that water bath for 3 to 4 hours, and the internal temperature gets to 210 degrees. And if you're doing that for a long amount of time, it's said to have killed all of that botulism. But you have to be careful. You have to sterilize. A lot of people pressure can because the internal temperature can get to 240 degrees, and then they can pressure can for however long, like 80 minutes or so. You all know that I'm just not a fan of the pressure canner. There was been a story in my family about a mishap with the pressure canner, so I don't think any of us do. Any of my like close relatives, maybe extended, do, but we all water bath. And there is a fear, but you have to do what you're comfortable with. So yeah, I wanted to add that in there since I'm canning so much. And then I got a question why I took a few years off. First of all, canned all my life with my family. I grew up knowing it. My dad was more of a freezer person. He froze everything you could think of, his fresh catches and just about anything. But I grew up canning, then we moved to Colorado. I didn't really bring anything with me. We lived in small apartments, and I worked in the restaurant industry. We didn't have a garden. I would get home at like 2 in the morning and eat whatever, I could get on my 70% discount or sometimes free. And that's how we did it. And that's how I went through grad school. So I would say when I say canning is relatively, it's not new to me, but I haven't really done much of it in Colorado. And then when my daughter was in the hospital for about a week there, they diagnosed her with botulism, and I assumed it was from something that I did. The infectious disease doctor was the one that was just so kind and said it would be you just can't think of it like that. Botulism can be created from so many things, and I don't say this to scare you, but it's in our soil, it's in potatoes if you store them improperly, it's in rice if you don't do the right thing with that before you cool it. There's just like so many different ways that it can come from. So I just wanted to like hop on here and kind of explain it, you know, because we all have information, and of course it's, you know, it's valuable to me, but just know I do have like a pattern of how I'm doing it, and I go by what the women in my family taught me, which a lot of us do. Some of us didn't grow up like that, and that's cool too, but I want you to be able to take this information and either be able to do it on your own confidently, or, I mean, do a little bit more research into it. I was talking to a gal this morning here, and she was saying she was keeping at least 2 to 3 jars of, you know, each sauce or something per month, and I think that's a good rule to stand by, because if you think about it, say you do like a ridiculous amount of tomato sauce and you have 10 sauces for, you know, the month. For a family of 4, that doesn't make sense. I really wanted to like dive into enchilada sauce and curry sauce, but I think I decided that I'd rather do a huge blend of curry powder, put it in a vacuum sealed jar and take from it, and a huge blend of enchilada sauce, and, you know, keep it in that, sorry, dirt roads, keep it in that vacuum sealed jar and take from that. So, you know, it really depends on what you want to can. Tomato sauce is safe to me. It's pretty acidic, although over the years, I was just talking to my mom about this, tomatoes don't have the same amount of acidity as they did in the past, so that's why it's recommended to put, you know, apple cider vinegar, citric acid, something with 5% acidity, you know, and that's to a lot of people the safest way to water bath can, if that makes sense. But there's just, you know, so much to learn. I've joined a few canning groups on Facebook, and you know, I've left a few canning groups on Facebook. And if you're new to canning, I definitely start there. There's a lot of valuable information in those groups. I will say they brought up a valid point that I was thinking about. So all of these food shortages and all of these inflation prices have, you know, made people, like myself included, focus more on being more sustainable, growing your own food, keeping a stock of food. But with that, you know, you start to see, like, a lot of my seeds didn't germinate this season. The ball canning situation where their lids are not sealing. So a lot of people like myself don't want that to go to waste. So they'll freeze it, because a lot of people don't have access to like a freeze dryer, so they'll freeze it. Then there's threatening of power outages. So, I mean, I don't mean to go down this like huge rabbit hole, and I wouldn't say it's a conspiracy if it's true, but you know, there's a lot of factors. And then you have to like think about Azure and a lot of their factories just being mysteriously burnt to the ground, and Azure is not the only company that has experienced that. Those like bulk food companies that supply a good product at a fair price to people that like to prep. But yeah, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I will say, like, that's something that I've been keeping in the back of my mind, and I never make these prepper videos to scare anybody, but it's something to think about. If you were one of those in the beginning that thought prepping was crazy, you know, and I've already debunked that theory, because it's not crazy being, you know, being supportive of your family and being prepared for your family. I don't think that's crazy. I think that's a silly thing. Quite the opposite, actually, but that's a story for another day. This is just some things that I've been thinking about while I've been canning, because it does give you time to slow down. It gives you time to teach your kids how to be connected to their food source, and you know, it gives them some responsibility, and it allows them to really appreciate where their food comes from. So that's just something I've been thinking about. We're gonna head into the farm stand here, and then I will see you when we get back home. Hello friends, it is the next day. I have a different hair color. Went for my hair appointment, so I did that this morning. I let that zucchini relish go overnight. Everyone but one jar popped. I think it was just filled too far, but that's okay because we are gonna have some salmon fish and chips tonight. I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be tasty. We're gonna get some sauerkraut in the jars here. It is 57 degrees and I am in my element. I absolutely love this kind of weather, but we are working on the chicken coop over here, so I will show you the progress on that as well. Okay, so we have clearly moved things. We are going to keep it over here. I think this will be a good spot for it. It is very tall, so we are excited to get this kind of, I just tripped, to get this, I guess you could call it, what do you want to call it? A frame. Oh, he's gone. But we're excited to get this frame going. This is going to go on top here. We have some metal roofing, so my husband is very talented. He is not going off of a plan, but I think this is gonna work out well, right buddy? Okay, do your thing. Wilder's working too, so yay. I can't wait to show you the end result. So I just got done with the zucchini and I wanted to show you something that's been going on with the cold weather and wind, and it's something to preserve, so it's a learning opportunity. So this is my accidental amaranth operation. I planted one single seed last season, one single plant into the planter, and then the wind blew it over and made it into this awesomeness. I also have one over here that the wind is moving it this way. Look at that. Hi little friend. I wish you would leave. Stop ruining all my plants. Oh, okay. So here is this, and then I came home to this, and I don't want to waste it, so you can actually take these leaves and you can eat them. I have to double check if chickens can eat them. I don't see why not. Ducks and chicks, it depends. Typically they can eat the same thing, but you never know. But it does have its head on it here. So I am going to separate these, and it will be in a separate video because this one's getting long, but I did want to show you that I am going to be harvesting the amaranth, and what better way to start with one that got knocked over. Alrighty everyone, that is going to do it for today's video. We have a storm coming in. I'm just so grateful for some cooler weather and the storm itself. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it was all over the place, but sometimes things don't go as planned. The videos coming up will be a lot of preservation and a lot of getting ready for this cool weather. So I hope you enjoyed. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye everyone.
Something's in the air. I can feel it everywhere. Every color seems to bloom, and there's light in every room. Now that you're looking up, I can see it in your eyes that lately it's been tough. But now the sun is rising, and we're new people. Let's be new people. There's summer. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, down, down. I wanna be up, 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 so high. 'Cause I've been down, down, down. I've been down, so down. And now I'm done. I'm aiming for the sky. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. keeps crippling. Now that you're looking up, I can see it in your eyes that lately it's been tough. But now the sun is rising, and we're new people. Let's be new people. There's summer. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, down, down. I wanna be up, 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 so high. 'Cause I've been